Good afternoon and welcome to Titan Talk. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Today you have myself, Captain Coop. We have our Major McFarland, local talent, and we have a special guest with us today, a new supervisor for us to help us out in our St. Louis market. So we really want to give a huge Titan welcome, family welcome to Mr. Chris Griffin. Yay! So appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us and taking the time out today.
To Peter Griffin? Stewie Griffin?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Down the road.
Father, brother.
Yeah. I'm just glad the
Uncle.
evil monkey in the closet's gone.
Welcome, buddy.
So
We're happy to have you.
We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us in the podcast and let us grill you a little bit and kind of flaunt you in front of the world and potentially maybe embarrass you, make you cry, make you smile, and get us all in trouble in the process. So thank you so much.
Glad to be here.
Generally when we do these, we do the meet your supervisor type thing. We got like a little background on yourself. So give us a little bit of background on you. What this is? I'm assuming not your first security job.
No. I started in security at 18 in Tacoma, Washington.
Do me a favor. Pull the microphone just a little closer.
Is that okay?
There you
This
go.
louder?
Oh yeah,
There?
much better.
Yep. No, I started in security at 18 in Tacoma, Washington, near Seattle, and they called it a night watchman license. 18 was the lowest.
Mm-hmm.
Did that for about 2 years, and then 1 year. So 1 year, decided to go through the police academy. I did that back home in Missouri, where I was from. So went through that. Was not quite 21, so couldn't be a police officer when I graduated. So stayed in private security for another on and off 5 years, and doing police work on the side after turning 21, getting through that. Took a small hiatus to join the corporate world as a salesman and trainer, and then back into police work here, and now I'm here.
You know, it's funny. Everyone I know that does like something like this for a living and then transfers to like a sales job in some regard, because I did this. I did that here myself. As I went from being scheduling manager to sales for the TM side, and I went back to being a lieutenant. Now I'm scheduling manager again, but I've done that twice at jobs. And every time I transfer from like a field position or a position where you get your hands dirty and go to a salesman, you almost always go back to being in the field. Or it seems to me that every time I see someone who goes from field work to not field work, always goes back to field work.
Yeah.
It's like it's a bad habit you just can't kick. You're like,
Right.
nope, got to go back. I got to get my fix.
Oh yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, it different, type of corporation and job, but the bonuses and structure was really lucrative as a salesperson. But I was like, this isn't for me anymore. It's like, and just looking at what I want to do, I took a break and stuff, and it's like, well, what do I want to do? I want to make 1/4 of what I did and go be a cop.
Yeah, right.
It's like I want to just make less.
But it's funny. I think it's a. Someone told me one time it's a calling. It's not necessarily. It's not about the money. Money's nice. Money's great. You can do a lot of things with money. But to those who just have like this innate feeling, it's not about the money. It's a calling. You get to that industry and you want to make a difference. And it's that's what it's about, is making the public feel safe or making that area. What you do and being the best at that. It's like a calling, because everyone who I talk to is in this industry as a law enforcement, EMS, or whatever the case may be, in a first responder capacity. Even us in security, it's I ask all the time, because what makes you want to do it? Like I feel like I need to. It's like I have to be in this field. And it's pretty cool to hear that from people that are 20-year veterans. It's like, hey, why haven't you done something else? Oh, well, I could have gone and done this, or I could have earned hundreds of thousands of dollars and did this, but I wanted to be a cop. Why? It just feels like me.
Yep.
So it's always really cool to see that, and to have that with you. You have that there as well. Just kind of, to me, proves it to me. But so good. So you're you will be running our St. Louis department.
Yes.
Working with Lavi temporarily while he's out there, making sure you're all squared away and getting you up to speed on how everything out there goes and getting you ready for that.
When's the official transfer, or what do they call that? Changing of the guard or whatever.
So we get a whole week together starting Monday. Tuesday, because I think Monday he's here now with his new job. But so Tuesday through Friday, and then that's it. And then I guess I'm I'm on my
Cut
own.
loose,
Yeah.
Go figure it out. Yeah, no, that'll be interesting. That's St. Louis and Kansas City are similar, but then also different in certain ways. And I know you're not like in downtown, right? But you're nearby, and so you'll be kind of feeling like you're on an island. But that's why we got you here to help train with us. And there's always going to be lifelines and resources that we may not know the city that well, but we know the business pretty well. So don't ever feel like you can't reach out to us.
Yep, that is one thing coming from the previous corporate job I held and being a regional trainer and stuff. We would often do that. We would open up a location, and it was part of my job to help get that general manager, trained up in order to do that. But when you're 12 hours or more away from the corporate office, 3 states away, we often tell people that you're on an island. You're literally starting a location with you, 2 other people that are probably part-time. We're going to ask you to work 80 hours a week and stuff. You're going to be on an island. And the biggest thing that we tried to instill in them above anything else is to transfer that culture, to grab that company culture. And so they spend a lot of time with us developing that, and that's what I'm hoping to do here is grab your guys' company culture, because it's just not seen in the St. Louis market right now. Every security company gets cycled through. Good officers get cycled through. They get left behind just due to contracts and stuff. There, in my opinion, no sense of loyalty out there, because you're always trying to get poached. But at the same time, there's not a company like this that is literally people and profits don't have to fight.
Yeah,
It's like we can care about our people and our employees while still turning a profit.
Yep.
And I think once that culture is taken out there, recruiting will be way easier. But just the clients will come.
Yeah.
Type thing. But I just want to bring that culture out there, because it's just way different. Here you walk into any other security office down, no one's having fun like you guys. Here it's just all uptight and nothing is. You don't get a call from the CEO wishing you a happy birthday. If a higher up in the company is calling you, you just look at your phone and go, oh.
Yeah.
Because
right.
it's not.
news.
It's not. Hey,
Yeah.
good job. Yeah. It's always.
Yeah,
we need
that's
to talk.
well, good. I'm glad you're starting to see that. That's something that we try to establish here. A lot of credit goes to my boss Leon on assembling a team that works well together, and we all kind of treat each other like we say we're very tribal. It's like everybody. What was that movie where they talk about how, like, if one mother isn't able to breastfeed, then not that we breastfeed, but
that took a really weird turn.
But they all are one big family, in a roundabout way. And yeah, I don't know where I went with that.
So, Connor,
it's from one of my favorite movies.
Just so you know, the new guy. This is Chris. I know you guys probably haven't met him yet. It's not like he's been in the office all week. So this is Chris. We'll have to bring him by you guys so you can meet him. So
yeah, Connor.
And
no, it's
Brendan
called We Were Soldiers. And Mel Gibson plays Colonel Hal Moore, who's a real person. And they talk about how they're watching each other's back and everything. And he brings up Native American tribe and how they would do that if they needed to. And so everybody just kind of helps everybody here. And for example, with the new movement, I'm taking a portion or a book of business of clients. Me and Leon kind of split before, and now with these new promotions, Major Ortiz and I are kind of working in tandem with all of our clients, which is I don't remember it's well over 100.
Yeah.
And just developing those relationships with those clients, and that our culture kind of oozes out into our client relationships. There's multiple clients that'll call me, on a weekly basis just to see how everything's going.
Yeah.
Whereas, and then I have some that are very, hey, once a year here's an update, and that's all they'll talk to us, and so knowing how to navigate that, you saw a piece of that when we were down at one of our clients early last week. I took you on kind of not a ride along, but just to kind of show you, and that guy, he feels like a buddy that I go drink beers with, and I have, but there's still that level of, hey, the client relationship, and so understand that and showing that to the guys, like when you start to develop that and St. Louis, it does help. We're a little spoiled here because of our reputation here. I'll toot our own horn that, there's probably few places that would ever say don't hire Titan. It's just, and there are probably other security companies.
Yeah,
so
which is funny because you say that, but we've had, I'm not going to name anybody, although I could. We've had other security companies when the pandemic and everything was going on. They're like, hey, we can't do this. You need to call Titan.
Yeah. Local police departments would. They would tell people looking for off-duty work or additional work, like, hey, we can't facilitate that, but call Titan. And so I feel like bragging right now is bad. Something bad's happening somewhere because I'm bragging, but it's a pretty cool feeling when you have multiple clients that don't even know each other, but then we get brought up and they're like, oh yeah, you should go with them. Yeah. Like it's pretty cool.
Or to hear from someone who's reached out and be like, hey, we're interested in security. Well, one of the people, our neighbor is this person, and they're apparently one of your clients, and they told us to reach out to you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And so to see that, and
property managers talk to each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so I had a meeting. You weren't at this one that me and Major Ortiz went to, where it's ended up being one property, and then they're like, well, we kind of like the way you guys are put together. We actually have 4, and we'd like to have you at all 4. So, then I come back and get the smart people to send over pricing, and then my job at that point is just to then keep that relationship healthy. Take complaints. I am the complaints department. Mm-hmm. So
and the sticky note.
Yeah, and I'm a giant sticky note, as you probably heard the guys call me. So just, being able to pick up a little bit of what I do, a little bit of what he does, and all the other guys, you'll have a good recipe for success when you get back out to St. Louis. So.
And then, like you said, it's taking that model and taking that and bringing it back to St. Louis and putting it there. Being able to develop those client relations, being able to develop the team in that way and get everybody in the same book and the same page, and making sure that, you get to as closely as you can with your experience to what we have here. Because there's always going to be some differences between, markets based on the type of jobs out there, the employee relationships and stuff like that. There's always going to be some subtle differences, but it's trying to use that base model and bring that out there and say, hey, this is what we want to truly try to mimic because it works really well.
Yeah, I wish we had a startup while you were here. I mean, we'll still run you through how we do it, and Major Roses knows because he's done it in the field with me, just like Coop has. We have a pretty good template. So it seems to work pretty well when we stick to it. So when we veer away from it at times is when we can have hiccups, but I mean, that's normal too, but yeah, that's a pretty good template to start with. So.
I'd say that's something about us that kind of, again, tooting our own little horn here, which I'm allowed to do. I think that we do better than a lot of places is when you run into those hiccups, you'll get some security companies that would be like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we take that hiccup. We're like, oh, hang on, wait a minute here. We're going to solve this right here, right now, and get it over with. Yep. And so it brings some stability to it, it makes clients happy.
Oh yeah, and I mean one of the huge differences that I've seen already is just don't lie. Even to the client, and where I've seen just the exact opposite, especially with national brands and stuff. It's like when you call and say, hey, I messed up, it's not okay, this is how we're going to fix it. It's like, okay, well, this is the lie we're going to tell.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, let's immediately get the site manager on the phone, the area manager. It's like, so we're all on the same page with the same lie. And it's like, that's a lot of work instead of just saying, you know what, here's what happened.
I would much rather look at the client and go, so I screwed up.
Yeah.
This is the mistake. However, I have fixed it. Here's how I fixed it. And here's how I'm not going to do it again in the future. I'd much rather be able to look at my boss or Major McFawn, Major Ortiz, or the client and say, hey, this is a mistake. Yep. It's been corrected. Yep. It won't happen again. I apologize. I'm an idiot. Because to me, that's more respectable. Yeah, if someone were to come to me and say, hey, I've had officers do it. Hey, I screwed up. I screwed up bad.
Yeah, it's like, the speed and the sincerity of owning up to a mistake is pivotal. Mm-hmm. It's something we learned. The pandemic kind of forced us, just because of the staffing. And so instead of us not telling clients we weren't coming, because we were short-staffed, it was, hey, this is the problem we're running into. You guys are having the same problem, and this is what we're working on fixing it. And that proved to be really, really good recipe for success. And that came from our boss again saying, hey, we're not going to lie, cheat, or steal. We're not going to do anything unethical, immoral, or illegal. And usually the rest kind of takes care of itself. Yeah. So,
yep.
Got to weed out the bad apples here and there, and that's that's really the majority of what you have to do. And so as you start to get that base of officers, St. Louis, you really want to start correctly, so that way you don't start with
growing a muscle versus
growing a weed.
Growing a weed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of weeds, there's not gonna be any weeds lately. They're gonna burn.
I was gonna say
a scorcher.
I'd say somebody just messaged in there and says, "Can you make a mention up to the good man up top and tell him to turn the heat down? I'm roasting out here." I'm like, I would love to be able to help you with that. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any kind of control over that. I wish I could, because this weekend was miserable.
Oh yeah,
miserable.
And
it's currently 98.
What's the humidity? Because that's the killer right there.
Yeah, I think
because being from the desert, I'm used to like 10%, 5%.
UV is very high. Humidity is 54.
Whoa.
Yeah, and when I looked for lunch, it said feels like 118.
Well, it looks like the end of the week.
Are you doing the weather now?
I was just going to steal it from you.
Yeah, cool. No, go ahead.
Well, no, it gets better and then it gets worse. Yeah, no, Thursday is going to be bad. You'll be probably pretty close to cooking an egg on the sidewalk on.
Have you ever done that?
I tried a long time ago as a kid, and it kind of worked on Thursday. Yeah, I'm sure some parts of the concrete, or if you got like black asphalt that like really radiates heat.
Oh yeah,
at 105, you'll probably get some bubbles going.
We did it in a high school. Our science teacher wanted to just. It was just a day of just mess around.
I was a kid when we did.
And so he brought.
Did it in my yard or in my driveway.
Yeah, it was I can't remember what year it was or what, but I think our teacher just wanted to screw around for the day and not actually do anything useful. And he brought like 2 or 3 dozen eggs, and he's like, "Here, take this, go crack it on the asphalt out there." And we all cooked eggs on the asphalt. None of us ate them, but I wouldn't eat, especially our asphalt.
It's for science. It's not for eating.
But it was really cool though. I mean, to watch it sit there and sizzle and burn.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was really cool. As a kid, it was. Nowadays, it's kind of like, that's a little weird.
What's everybody doing on the chat?
Well, Roses and Brennan are making fun of each other.
Arguing?
Yeah, no, they're making fun of each other. Who's this? Who's that? This is the new guy sitting next to me. And who's Coop? I've never met him before. Roses has no idea who you are.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Let's see. Price is giving Lieutenant Lulu affirmation, saying that it's a good thing. Saying that
good.
Brian says speed, quality, and service the Titan way. Absolutely. 100%.
A lot of places you can pick 2 of the 3. With us, you get all 3.
All right. Yep. Brian's got a good one here. Can Chris give us a little bit of information about the security landscape in St. Louis?
Sounds like they all suck.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a unique landscape to say the least. I mean, just like anywhere, police officers' response is way high. Times it's priority calls. They massive shortage of officers right now. They're continuing to turn over chiefs and command staff. Normally, when that happens, you have a lot of officers following suit. Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, just in the time and culture we're living in too right now, we have a lot of officers that instead of staying past their retirement age and stuff like that, they're just choosing to up and leave. Or it's like, man, I don't get full retirement, but I get this. I'm just I'm just going to go ahead and step out, and
it's better than getting shot at.
Yeah, it's better than doing something up there.
Is the same thing that's happening here with Kansas City. We've obviously grown a pretty healthy relationship with KCPD, and there's guys that are buying back their academy to get out.
Yeah.
Like
oh,
6
really?
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Instead of saying extra 6 months, they're like, nah, I'll leave 6 months early and I'll pay for the academy, or buying back options. So yeah, I mean, when people hate you for a living, it's
hard.
difficult. So
yeah, one of their strongest rules that they've enforced, except here recently, has been you have to live in STL. And they now have exemptions to that and stuff, but it's not pulling any more recruits than what they wanted. It's just a unique. I mean, crimes up. It's just all over the place. It's a very unique situation out there to say the least. You got Busch Stadium, which is always busy. Several venues. The Blues, Battlehawks are out there again now. it's
Is that
just
a
really
sports ball
unique.
thing?
Is that is that hockey?
No,
Or
so the Blues are hockey.
That's right. Yeah, I knew that. I'm an idiot.
The Battlehawks are.
Is that like a CFL team or whatever?
Yeah, it's a new football.
Yeah,
type
that's right.
X League or
Yeah.
something that
Yeah, it's that other like
a wrestler used to own. Like
it's like wish list. It's like wish list NFL. I mean, it's a great opportunity for
Hold on.
guys because there's athletes that aren't quite there, NFL level, but it's other football.
Wish League.
Wish.com.
yeah, I don't
NFL.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I would call it that because there's some.
Okay.
There's
Isn't
some
Wish.com
strings
like
of-
where you get like
I
the
don't-
knockoff stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Does that
There
mean
you
to
go.
say?
I don't know. I don't know anything about sports.
It's like a watered down version of the NFL.
But
Sorry for
you're-
anybody that plays.
You're asking.
They're better athletes than me by a million miles, but trying to go toe to toe with the NFL, I just don't see the logic there. I mean, the NFL owns a day of the week,
Several.
Sunday really, It's the one. Monday night.
I will say one thing that I'm, obviously hoping to go out there and capitalize on, but St. Louis neighborhoods are kind of in a unique situation out there that their response time for police officers and just police presence and patrol is so low that they're not homeowners associations or anything. These are literally neighborhoods that got together and under special permission formed their own tax subdivision. So they are themselves saying, we are forming our own political subdivision. We're going to pay more in taxes. All this money is going for security for
Purposes.
our neighborhood.
Yeah, I heard about
so
that.
they're like literally upping. I think one of the and they are a little bit more well-off neighborhoods that are doing this and
Right.
stuff.
They have the income to spend.
Yeah, they have the income to spend. I think the neighborhood that just recently passed it in May, theirs are going to equivalent to about an extra $200 per year per property tax and stuff. But that equates to millions that they're solely dedicating for this
For just that neighborhood.
for just that neighborhood.
Wow.
There's one that has already done it successfully. They're not fully up and going on true presence yet. This one just passed it. They're going to be up and going, but it looks like 6 others after this neighborhood have filed the paperwork to follow suit. And of course, the city itself's not liking it, but right now, I don't see them being able to stop it. Unfortunately, I think how their answer to it is publicly that they've said they're going to no longer allow STL officers to work off duty.
Yeah.
So that means somebody else is going to have to step in.
Well, it's good news for us.
Yeah, that's why I
Well,
said
there,
that's
there goes
good
the phone
news.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I didn't know that was even an option. That's kind of cool to think about. I mean,
I
it's-
didn't either, and
I don't know. It seems
People are
kinda,
uh,
at their wits' end, man.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, just like in Missouri and anywhere else, we have water districts, we have fire protection districts, and these guys literally just like went to the governor's office and they're like, if we have fire districts, why can't we choose to pay more for police?
For security districts. Or,
Yeah. They're like,
Policing,
yeah,
yeah.
we want, we want.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty hard
you
for them
know.
to say, hey, no to people willingly saying, hey, I want to pay more taxes so we can afford to pay these men and women to do a job that not a lot of people want to do anymore.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
no, good on them. Good
Yeah,
on them.
yeah,
That's actually taking a
Taking
community
charge and-
approach to something.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what we go to the police town hall meetings they have at East Patrol or Central. We've been to so many of them, and every single time when they it's just an open forum where shop owners and business owners and residents in the area can come basically voice their complaints about what they think the police department is doing well and not doing well, and they're not holding back. What I'm at.
It's full force.
There's some people, and some people's expectations are very unrealistic. They're like, well, why do people discharge firearms in the park at night? Because people are idiots.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those bullets have to come down at some point, and so or they're discharging them at other people, and it's just there's nothing they can do about that per se, but their response time can get better, and that's so being able to have that communication that they do in St. Louis is encouraging, because that's how you fix those kinds of problems, rather than everybody just kind of coming and yelling at the police every time. It says, hey, these are your communities that you're a part of. You need to take an approach as well. You can't just rely on the police to fix everything, and so that's a big piece of it. So it's cool to see some of that working that way.
That kind of makes me think of like the CID units we have, because that's the community
improvement districts.
Districts, and it's where the community has been like, it's where like the shopkeepers like, hey, we want to help, we want to make this a better area.
It's publicly funded.
Everybody's going to pitch in so that way we can assist, and then. Because I think
so all the business doesn't run off,
right?
I mean,
so the two we have
businesses can't afford to stay open when they're getting hit with theft every single day. I mean, there's one.
But I mean, those do more than just that, because they do the street cleaning. Those CIDs that we have, those guys have cleaners that will go up and down the street all day, every day, making sure that the streets are clean, or as clean as we can get them.
Yep.
It helps with the security in the area, making everybody feel safer. And I mean, to see that working in a neighborhood area is what it sounds like, is they're kind of doing that a community improvement district for a neighborhood.
Yeah, for
that's pretty cool.
Yep.
So awesome. Well,
thanks
Chris,
for coming.
Thanks for joining us today, giving us the time, and we really appreciate you. Really happy to have you on the team. Glad you're spending some time with us to bring some of this culture back with you. The big thing, always remember that if you ever need anything, we're only ever a phone call away, and we'll happily send roses down to you and make them drive out there for you. So. Don't ever forget that. So.
Oh, I won't.
We appreciate your time. We're going to let everybody get back to their days. Thank you guys so much. Everything you guys do in the field allows us to continue to do the things that we do, and allows us to continue stuff like this, where we can get new guys in and have a conversation with them, or make fun of each other and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for everything you do in the field. Like McFarland said, it's going to be a hot one this week, so stay hydrated. Hydration is the day before, not the day of. It's phenomenal. So thanks, guys. We appreciate it so much. We're going to let you guys get back to your day. Have a safe one, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks, guys.
Take care.